Are we about to witness the dawn of a new digital age? A world where Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, takes unprecedented control over the internet's backbone. A $10 billion project spanning 40,000 kilometers could soon change the way we connect, communicate, and even consume content globally. But why is Meta, a tech giant with nearly 3 billion users, building its own subsea cable? And what does this mean for the future of the internet? Stick around because the answers may surprise you. Meta, the second largest driver of global internet traffic, has been quietly planning something revolutionary. According to sources close to the company, the tech titan is preparing to invest over $10 billion to build a fiber optic subsea cable that will stretch across the globe. Unlike previous subsea cables that have been shared by multiple companies, this cable will be entirely owned by Meta, making it the first of its kind for the company. This new venture, though still in its early stages, promises to reshape the global internet infrastructure landscape. But why, you might ask, would Meta need its own dedicated subsea cable? To fully understand this, we need to take a look at the bigger picture. Meta's apps, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, are responsible for an enormous amount of global internet traffic. In fact, Meta accounts for 10% of all fixed internet traffic and a staggering 22% of mobile traffic worldwide. As the company continues to grow, particularly with its investments into artificial intelligence, that number is expected to rise. This increase in demand for data has led Meta to recognize that in order to maintain a high level of service and speed for its users, it needs to control the very pipes that carry that data. And what better way to do that than by building its own subsea cable? For those unfamiliar, subsea cables are the backbone of the internet. These cables, which run across the ocean floor, are responsible for carrying the majority of global internet traffic. Currently, a large portion of these cables is owned by telecom companies who lease capacity to tech giants like Meta. However, as these companies' reliance on data grows, so does their desire to control more of the infrastructure that supports their businesses. Meta's decision to build its own subsea cable is part of a larger trend that has seen major tech companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft increasingly invest in and even own parts of the global subsea network. Google, for instance, is involved in 33 different subsea cable projects, including several where it is the sole owner. Amazon and Microsoft also have a stake in many cables, but neither company has yet built one entirely on its own. Meta, however, is set to break new ground with this massive $10 billion investment, which would be a milestone not only for the company, but also for the subsea cable industry as a whole. So why is Meta willing to spend such an enormous amount on this project? One reason is the desire for control. By owning its own cable, Meta can ensure that its traffic gets top priority, bypassing the potential bottlenecks and delays that can occur when relying on third-party carriers. In essence, Meta would have its own dedicated data highway that would guarantee the speed and reliability of its services, something that is especially crucial as the company expands its use of AI and other data-heavy technologies. But the reasons for this investment go beyond just performance. Meta, like other big tech companies, has realized that controlling the infrastructure that powers its business is no longer optional. It's a necessity. In fact, some experts argue that relying on traditional telecoms for critical infrastructure is becoming increasingly risky. Ranulph Scarborough, a submarine cable industry analyst, put it bluntly, "Who's going to rely on traditional telcos anymore? Tech companies are now independent. They've realized they've got to build it themselves." Another key factor driving Meta's investment is geopolitics. In recent years, subsea cables have become a target for geopolitical tensions. In the Red Sea, for example, Houthi rebels, supported by Iran, have been attacking ships that lay subsea cables. In the Baltic Sea, Russia was suspected of cutting a submarine cable, and there have even been incidents involving Chinese ships in European waters. These disruptions have the potential to cripple global internet connectivity, which is why Meta is taking steps to avoid high-risk areas. Meta's planned subsea cable route is designed to sidestep these geopolitical hotspots. The route will stretch from the east coast of the US to India, via South Africa, and then to the west coast of the US via Australia. This W shape around the globe is not only strategic for minimizing geopolitical risk, but it also ensures that Meta can maintain a more secure and stable data pipeline. The company is avoiding areas like the Red Sea, the South China Sea, and the Straits of Malacca, regions that are increasingly seen as vulnerable to disruption due to political instability and regional conflicts. However, it's not just about avoiding potential disasters. There's also a financial incentive behind Meta's subsea cable ambitions. As it stands, the cost of international data transport is still relatively high, and much of this is due to the reliance on telecom companies that control the subsea infrastructure. By building its own cable, Meta can save money in the long run, while also gaining the ability to sell capacity to other players in the market. That brings us to another intriguing possibility. While Meta's subsea cable will primarily serve its own needs, there's speculation that the company could open it up to other users in the future. In this scenario, Meta could effectively become a competitor to traditional telecom carriers, selling bandwidth to other companies who need it for their own data operations. This could turn Meta's $10 billion investment into a highly profitable venture, with the company positioning itself as both a consumer and a provider of internet infrastructure. There's also a more speculative theory about why Meta is so keen to build this subsea cable. Some experts believe that the company's investment may have something to do with its growing interest in artificial intelligence. India, which is set to be a key hub for Meta's subsea cable, is also emerging as a major center for AI research and development. Meta could be looking to capitalize on India's lower-cost computing resources, building out data centers in the country to help train AI models and support other data-heavy operations. With a subsea cable linking India to the rest of the world, Meta could gain a competitive edge in the AI space, giving it access to cheaper, faster data processing capabilities. India is already one of Meta's largest markets, with over 375 million users on Facebook, 363 million on Instagram, and 536 million on WhatsApp. As these platforms continue to grow in the region, the need for reliable, high-speed internet infrastructure becomes even more critical. The subsea cable would not only help Meta better serve its users in India, but it could also position the company to take advantage of the growing AI boom in the country. With companies like NVIDIA making significant investments in AI infrastructure in India, Meta could be looking to ensure that it has the infrastructure in place to compete on the global stage. But even with all these potential benefits, there's no guarantee that Meta's subsea cable project will go smoothly. Building subsea cables is a complicated, expensive, and time-consuming endeavor. Companies like Subcom, who specialize in laying these cables, are already booked up for years in advance, and Meta will need to navigate these challenges to ensure its ambitious project stays on track. In fact, industry experts predict that Meta's cable may not be fully operational until the late 2020s, even if everything goes according to plan. The company has only recently started laying out the plans for the cable, and the physical construction of the infrastructure is still some time away. Additionally, with the intense competition for cable-laying ships and equipment, Meta will likely have to build the cable in segments over the course of several years, gradually expanding its network as resources become available. Still, Meta's commitment to this project underscores just how important infrastructure is becoming in the digital age. With AI, big data, and the ever-increasing demand for internet connectivity, having direct control over the network that powers your business is a competitive advantage that no tech company can afford to overlook. And if Meta pulls this off, it will not only transform its own services, but could reshape the entire landscape of global internet infrastructure. So what's next for Meta's $10 billion subsea cable project? Will it revolutionize the way we access the internet? Or will it face obstacles too great to overcome? One thing is certain, this is a story that is far from over. Keep your eyes on the waves. Meta's subsea cable could be making a splash in ways we never expected. Let's dive even deeper into why Meta's $10 billion subsea cable project is such a game changer. We've already explored the major implications for Meta itself, but what about the bigger picture? What does this mean for the global internet landscape? And could it be the start of a new era where tech giants like Meta, Google, and Amazon fully control the infrastructure that powers our digital lives? When you take a step back and look at this from a wider perspective, Meta's subsea cable project is not just about one company securing its own future. This could signal a massive shift in the internet's power dynamics. For years, the internet was a shared space, built and maintained by telecom giants who leased access to tech companies. But now, as these tech companies grow in size and power, they're realizing that relying on traditional telecoms just isn't enough. The demand for faster, more reliable internet is growing exponentially, and only by controlling the infrastructure can they ensure that their services continue to run smoothly. Meta's $10 billion Subsea cable project may be the first of its kind, but it's unlikely to be the last. Other companies like Google have already built subsea cables, and they're now ramping up their efforts. In fact, Google is involved in over 30 subsea cable projects, and it's building more as we speak. With more and more tech companies taking control of the internet's infrastructure, we could be entering a new era where the major players in the tech industry have more power than the telecom companies that once controlled everything. This raises a crucial question. If tech companies control the pipes, will they also control the flow of information? Right now, these companies say they're just investing in infrastructure to improve service and reduce costs. But as the competition in the tech industry heats up, we may see these companies use their control over the internet's infrastructure to gain an even bigger competitive edge. Could this mean faster access to your favorite platforms? Maybe. Or could it result in even more dominance from the likes of Meta, Google, and others, leaving smaller players struggling to keep up? Time will tell, but these questions are important to consider. Now let's think about what all of this means for you, the consumer. For years, we've had little say in how our internet is built, maintained, or delivered. But with tech companies like Meta building their own subsea cables, there's a chance that we could see more customization and better performance. For example, Meta could prioritize its own services, which could mean faster, smoother access to Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all the other tools Meta offers. But at the same time, this raises concerns about potential monopolies and how much control these companies should have over the internet. And let's not forget about the global implications. As Meta builds its subsea cable, it's also looking to expand its reach in emerging markets, particularly in India. This country is one of Meta's largest user bases, and with its growing interest in AI and tech infrastructure, India is becoming a crucial hub for the digital future. By building out this subsea cable, Meta will not only provide better service to its users in India, but could also help accelerate the development of AI and data-driven technologies, giving the company a significant competitive advantage in this rapidly growing field. But it's not just about Meta. This $10 billion subsea cable project has the potential to alter the entire global tech ecosystem. It's a challenge to traditional telecoms and could signal a dramatic shift in how global networks are owned and operated. The future of the internet could soon be in the hands of a few tech giants, and that raises some interesting questions about what this means for competition, innovation, and the flow of information. Stay tuned, because the future of the internet may just be controlled by one company, and it might not be who you think. In conclusion, Meta's $10 billion subsea cable project is not just an investment in the company's future, it's a bold move that could reshape the global internet landscape. As the lines blur between tech companies and telecoms, we're seeing a new era of digital infrastructure take shape. One where big tech plays a larger role in how the internet operates and who controls it. Whether this will lead to a more efficient, innovative digital world or result in monopolies and more control over our online experiences remains to be seen. But what's clear is that the future of the internet is changing, and Meta's subsea cable is just the beginning. It's an exciting, unpredictable time, and we'll be watching closely to see how this project unfolds. So what do you think? Is Meta making the right move, or are we heading toward a world where a few tech giants control the internet's very infrastructure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video insightful and want to stay updated on the latest developments in the tech and infrastructure space, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of the stories that shape our digital world. We've got a lot more exciting content coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.